Hi, I'm Kristi Reich. Welcome to our series, Fresh and Raw. The purpose of this show is to show you how to make some raw goodies so you can eat healthier and have more nutrients and enzymes in your tummy. Today we're going to make a raw lasagna. It's so easy. Pretty much all we need is a zucchini for the noodles, some nice mixture of some white nuts like cashew, macadamia, or pine nuts. I've got the macadamia and pine nuts here. Mixture of our seasonings, herbs, and spices. We're going to do 2 sauces for this lasagna, and we're just going to put it on the plate in little bite-sized pieces. So to start off, I'll make some zucchini noodles just by using a basic peeler here. The nice thing about this recipe is you don't need many fancy tools to get the job done. We're going to peel some nice thick fettuccine-like pasta pieces here, and that's essentially going to be the base of the layers for the actual lasagna. So I'll just go around the zucchini, make some nice fat fettuccine noodles. You're going to be able to make a lot of portions on just a little amount of money as well. Everything you're going to need, pick up at the local health food store. All right, so we've got our noodles ready. Just set those to the side for now, and we'll start with our macadamia cottage cheese. So all you're needing today for mixing is your food processor. I've soaked the nuts, and the reason number 1 is for digestion. You're going to get more of those living enzymes going into your system, providing your body with the nutrients you need for life. And then secondly, because I'm not adding a lot of liquid to this nut ricotta cheese, just a splash of lemon juice actually, a little bit of a red onion, and that's going to be for flavor and moisture, so we can just pop a couple pieces of that right in there. Whoops. And a splash of our lemon juice. So we'll also add a nice pinch of salt in there, quite a bit, because we want that salty flavor to come through all the layers of the noodles, the layers of the tomato, and the layers of the Swiss chard and the kale that we're going to be layering in the lasagna as well. Let's add a little 1 drop of lemon essential oil. It's just one more way to get a super lemony, zesty flavor in there and added health benefits with just a little bit of ingredient. So one last thing is a little small drizzle of olive oil. Put that inside, and we'll process this bad boy and get our cheese ready. So you don't need to process it very long, and it's going to come out kind of the consistency of a cottage cheese. That's actually what it looks like now. I might process it a bit more, but what I'm going to do is just taste it first, make sure the flavor's there, because if we keep processing it, it's kind of going to turn into a runny liquid. We want it to be a little bit more chunky for this sauce. It's unbelievable. So I've added a tiny little bit too much salt, so I'm just going to dilute that by putting a splash more lemon juice, maybe 1 more piece of the onion. Forgot before, nutritional yeast, that adds a nice cheesy flavor to any cheese you're making at home. Something else you can add, sesame seed is going to add some texture, splash of Italian seasoning, and I always love a little bit of turmeric in my food. We'll give a little crackle of pepper and try that once more. You're going to love it. Okay, so you saw that took, what, 5 seconds? So there's pretty much no excuse of why you can't do this at home. So we'll pop out our center blade, and we'll get our cheese mixture into a storage container for now as we make our second sauce. If there's a little bit left over in the food processor of the nut mixture, that's totally fine. Since you're adding it all together in a layer anyways, we can just put it in there without even having to do dishes. Makes the prep time even less right there. Nobody likes cooking and, using all these different dishes, and it just adds up and adds up. So let's add a delicious basil pesto to the mix. So I've got a whole bunch of basil that's definitely ready to be used. It's a good way to use up any old herbs from the garden you need to get rid of, including the basil stems. Let's throw it right in there. So in any traditional pesto, you're going to have garlic. Obvio, so here it is. Let's pour all of that in. We're gonna need a splash of sea salt. Don't want to oversalt it like last time, so I'll just put a little bit instead of a lot, and I can always add more later. We're going to use quite a bit more olive oil in this recipe since the base of a pesto is typically in oil. A lot of times as well, there's a white nut or a pine nut in your basil pesto. You can make it that way if you want, but since we already use those nuts in the ricotta cheese, we're just going to stick to a basil and oil mixture for this one. So here's a good opportunity to kind of use up some veggies we maybe don't want anymore. We've got some little outside skins from the zucchini here. Maybe pick through my bowl and find some kale and spinach pieces that aren't the most perfect. Get them right in there. And it's also another way to incorporate more vegetables into your meal. Maybe hide them in there for your family who doesn't like them. Both of these cheeses and pesto can be used on a regular cooked pasta as well, but today we're doing it raw. Might need a splash more oil, so we'll give that a try and let's give it a process. See how it tastes. So as you can see, it still needs to process. I've got some stems in there and the garlic hasn't quite broken down. But I always stop it before it's finished to give it a little taste, see how it's doing, add a few more ingredients so when you get to your end result, it's all ready. You don't have to add anything else. Tastes very healthy. Feels like I should add something. It's very garlicky. So I'm gonna go for adding these little baby tomatoes in there. Let's try for some of the nutritional yeast. We'll add a bit of pepper in there as well. And then it's really garlicky, so I'm gonna dilute it with all the rest of my olive oil. Should turn out perfect. Maybe one little splash of lemon juice as well. So don't be afraid to keep adding items to your recipes at home, because when you taste something, your body and your intuition might say, add this. And even though it's not on that list of things you're supposed to add, what you're craving and the nutrients your body wants, it's gonna tell you. So listen to that, add a little bit in, blend it up, see how it tastes. If it works, keep going. Okay, so the pesto's pretty much complete. Oh yeah, that's looking ultra healthy and ultra delicious. Let's give it another taste. We want it to be perfect. Oh yeah, there it is. So now we're gonna plate our lasagna. You can use all sorts of garnishes. What I have here are some nice olives, a little pumpkin seed, sun-dried tomato, my red onion, maybe just chiffonade a couple little pieces of that, add some color to the plate. So we'll try making one lasagna, see how it turns out. So I'm gonna fold these pieces of fettuccine noodle in half, just because it provides a little more integrity when you take that bite. It's not gonna all fall apart. We want it to have kind of a base noodle for everything to sit on top of. So we'll add our ricotta cheese right on there. Ooh yeah. Just remember, when you're making raw foods, they don't have to look perfect. You're gonna eat them in about 1 second anyways. So when you're inviting your friend over, don't fret if there's a couple things falling out. It'll just give them something to look forward to, saying, oh my goodness, did you make this? And you can say, yeah, in like 5 minutes. So impressive. So we'll add some pesto in there. Oh yeah, it's looking awesome now. Go with another zucchini noodle or 2 or 3. So you can build these up however you want. I'm gonna add a little bit of layers of tomato in there as well. I didn't add any other tomato flavor to this lasagna. So keep layering my cheese and my pesto. You can get really creative with what you wanna add to. If you wanna do a raw marinara sauce or a pecan meat crumble. I just stuck with kind of lemon, basil, and garlic flavors today. It's traditionally Italian, but it's very refreshing at the same time. Makes a beautiful summertime dish. A little more pesto. Oops. Oh, look at it, it's falling over. Okay, we'll make this our last layer. Swiss chard leaf and a kale leaf. We'll put our little sun-dried tomato on top. Oh, it's so cute. And an olive on the side. So this is our beautiful raw lasagna. It just looks so pretty. I barely even want to take a bite of it, but I guess I should. Let's see how it tastes. So you can see a portion this large is going to be enough for one person. Want to get a little bite of everything in there. And one of my favorite things to go with any Italian dish is a drop of balsamic vinegar reduction. See how that goes. You're gonna really impress your friends with this dish. So I want to thank our sponsor, Nature's Fair. They provided all of these lovely groceries. You can make several lasagna stacks for under $30. Go pick it up all today, make it tonight. You're gonna really thank yourself.